So in this video, we're going to deploy Loki using simple, monolithic mode. Uh, so, so earlier video we have covered like simple scalable, but in this video we're going to deploy Loki using monolithic mode. You know, like Loki has three different kind of deployment is there, like monolithic mode, and another is simple scalable, and the enterprise version is like the microservice mode, which need like more resources, and you can easily scale your application based on your requirement. But this mode you can use for the lab or test purpose or something. Okay, so basically used for the test purpose, so this monolithic mode. Okay, so this is called in the Loki as the single binary or something. Okay, so we are go with this mode today. And if you're not aware of this Loki, so in the OpenShift logging, earlier they used like Elasticsearch for their logging, EFK stack, Elastic, FluentD, and the Kibana. But nowadays they are migrated from Elastic to Loki because of its performance and its scalable feature. Okay, and basically it is indexing your levels instead of entire data, so that's why it is given more preference over Elasticsearch. So today we'll go with this monolithic mode, that is the single binary. So in this mode, basically, the Loki can be deployed as like microservice mode. Like each of the component can be split into different process, so that you can easily scale your application. Suppose I can give example, like suppose the ingester component is there. Your enterprise need like this component should be scaled like based on your load or something, then you can individually scale this component only. Okay, so but in Loki binary component binary deployment, we are going to deploy all component as a single process. Okay, now you can see in the figure, I mean the diagram, all the component, like earlier we have discussed all the component, the role of each component, like compactor, distributor, query front end, ingester, and the courier. All the component is deployed as a single unit. Okay, that is the single process. Okay, so all the read path goes to this single process, all the write path also goes to single process, and you can use one of the object storage, that the same external object storage, that the MINIO. Okay, but the process is like one process, that is instead of different process, this all the component are deployed in the single process, that is the single binary deployment. Okay, so we're going to deploy this one. And in the binary deployment also, you can, if you want like horizontal scalable of this monolithic application, still you can have that feature using this member list. Like suppose this is the one machine, this is the second machine, and the first machine you deploy this Loki using single binary, all the components are deployed in the single process. The same thing you can replicate on the other machine, and you can you can connect between those two machines, so that you can get the highly available feature. Okay, so when you are sending the data to your gateway, so the gateway will split your data based on the load to different machines. Okay, so this way you can get the highly available feature using this member list config. But we're not going to discuss this fact, only we are going to discuss only this monolithic mode, that is the single binary. And since if you have requirement of this highly available feature with scalable, so Loki recommend you can go with simple scalable instead of putting like two Loki instance and replicate among the two machines. Okay, so you can go with simple scalable, what we have covered in the last videos. Okay, so let me we all already know this, how the Loki data format is there, indexing, and the chunk format we already covered this one. All this figure we already covered last time. And yeah, so we'll go with this deployment using the Helm chart. Yeah, so this is the monolithic Helm chart, you can see. And we are going with this single replica, And in single replica you can see we expect one replica of Loki should be installed, and one generic deployment, that is the your daemon set, one daemon set will be there. And you can see one gateway, one chunk, and result cache, and optional, that is if you want to use the default MINIO, otherwise you can use the external, that is the like you need to MINIO enabled as false, okay, so that we can use the external MINIO instance, okay. And the note section you can see they mentioned like the replication factor is 1. If you want one replica, authorized request will be failed, okay. We'll cover this part where we need to define this one replica or something. And in the YAML sample they provided some of the samples, like in the top you can see common config is there and the replication factor is 1, because I am going to, I don't want the replication like 2 or something, okay. And you can see all the component like ingest or replica as 0, because it is a very simple deployment, single binary, okay. And read write all the replicas should be 0, okay. You noticed like in earlier like simple scalable we have like backend 2 replica, read also 2 replica, write also 2 replica, but here all components are 0 because it's monolithic deployment, okay. So let me jump to the demo. So I have one Kubernetes cluster, 3 node Kubernetes cluster, and you can see they maybe need some memory, like if you check my system memory, you can I allocated like 16 GB of memory. You can see right now it's consuming 2 GB almost, okay. So let me going to deploy this Loki SingleBinary, and you can see MINIO, your object should be created and the access key should be ready, okay. Because same thing we are going to I mean the value should be inserted into the binary, that is the YAML file, okay. So let me also show you dev get for your MINIO instance also running, because we are forwarding the log to this MINIO, so you can refer the previous video so that you can deploy the MINIO instance and get the, I mean create the Loki object bucket and get the access key and secret key, okay. So let me go try the deployment. The deployment is simple, I mean this one, okay. Before that I will show you the sample file. So if I go to the top, yeah. So if I go to the top, you can see one section is there, that the Loki, okay. And here the auth enabled false, and this one is the important point for the binary configure. I mean the monolithic deployment, replication factor 1, okay. And the other thing remains same what we have discussed in simple scalable. The object storage is S3, and for the indexing we are using the TSDB, that is the time series database, because the bold DB is already deprecated, so that's why they are using this time series database, which is basically used for the Prometheus also, okay. And the index format, like this is the prefix for the index, and the storage config we need to pass the S3 kind of information, okay. So if you come down like storage part, it is same like earlier S3. And the endpoint, this is the MINIO server endpoint, and this is the your bucket name. And to store the chunks you need to create the, I mean use the same bucket, otherwise different bucket you can use, otherwise it will create under the Loki bucket, okay. Chunk and ruler, and you can see the access key and secret key is there. And this one is the important, that is the deployment mode. Earlier we have used that is simple scalable, but at the time the resource usage is more as compared with the single scalable, because using all the component are deployed as a single process, okay. So there is single scalable deployment, and under this single scalable you have like different options are there. If you want some of the storage, then you can go with this persistent section, and there you can mention your storage class, all the sizes. I go with 2 GB, and this one is the important, that the replication one. Okay, in the top of the line you can see the replication factor 1, and there itself you can see the replication also 1. If you replicate as 2 instance, there you need to update as the 2. Okay, and all the backend component read write all path, I mean all the component are simple, you can put at 0. Okay, because it's monolithic deployment. And this gateway, we can enable this gateway, and the service gateway service is exposed at the node port. Okay, since I'm using not using like AWS or something, so I go with this node port access. And MINIO is false because I am using external MINIO instance. Okay, so this is my external MINIO instance which is already deployed as a pod. Okay, so let me deploy this application. So to deploy this application, you can use the help, and you can pass your your value file. Let me hit enter. It will start deploying this Loki. Now the deployment is completed. Let me check the pod status. So since I deployed in Loki namespace, so I expect the pod should be created there. Get pod. Yes, so now it is coming to running state, but it's not fully running state, because you can see some of the container status like 0 by 1. So you can wait a couple of seconds. Okay, most probably it will come to running state very soon. Yeah, all pods are right now ready. Okay, so let me deploy the second component, that is the frontal, which is collecting the logs. It is same like the earlier one. Yeah, so this is the frontal component. And you can see one difference, like earlier we have like lot of components are there in the Loki, but in this case it is all the component are deployed in a single process. Okay, that's why the count is very less. You can see here, earlier read like two component read two replica, right? Backend also two replica are there, but here only one replica. All you can check the PVC status also. Loki storage only one. Okay, no backend, nothing. And this is basically for test purpose only and lab environment. Okay, if you have resource requirement is very less. Okay, so in this case you can use this one. And yeah, so we can go with this so now we can go with this promptil deployment. Let me copy this one, and you can see I have some file, I think, right? Let me show you that file. It's same like earlier. Yeah, so this file, this is very, copied from the template itself, no major changes. Only I can show you, yeah, only this, the client, only the client URL changed, like in the earlier video also we have covered this one. This is the Loki gateway. Okay, Loki gateway, and the Loki, this is the REST API. Okay. And other than that, no other changes is required. I think only we need to update only the Loki gateway. So let me try to deploy this one. Yeah, it is going to deploy in the same namespace. So we expect all the pods should be coming up. Yeah, since it is two worker nodes is there, you can see two worker nodes are there. So the frontal is going to deploy as the daemon set, so that's why two replicas are running daemon set. Okay, you can check the daemon set status. Daemon set, the frontal is deployed as the daemon set. Okay, and yeah, once this Loki component deployed, Promptel is deployed, then we can go ahead, go with this Grafana UI. Okay, so this Grafana you can access. Mm, Grafana you can take the values as the default values. No need to change anything. Well, I can show you. Yeah. So here. So here you can add if you want to access Grafana using node port instead of patching those things manually. You can see later I can patch this thing. Okay, each time when I deploy I am going to patch this one. So instead of doing those things you can permanently add this section. One service section is there, it is enabled true, and you need to add this two line. Okay, that is type what is that type? Yeah, that is type is node port and the node port number. Okay, so I can show you one thing why I am taking this fixed node port. Okay, since this is kind cluster, I can show you one thing. BI kind ingress, yeah. So I think if you check my kind cluster demo, there I covered this extra port mapping kind of things, and here you can see I use the extra port mapping. Okay, because in the kind cluster you cannot access this node port directly. Okay, so you need to in advance you need to provide those things. Here you can see I define some of the port mapping, like this is the container port and this is the host port. Basically these port are for the node port access 30,000 something. Okay, so I already consumed these two for the MINIO, and I'm already consumed this one for this Loki gateway, and this one going for this Grafana. Okay, so I can use this port for the Grafana, and similarly if you have more requirement like Prometheus or something, then you can go with this. Up to I have advanced 342 port already reserved. Okay, so this is the thing. And okay, so what are the things it is deployed? Let me check. Get port, yeah, Loki component deployed, and frontal also. Okay, so now we can go with this Grafana. Yeah, so we can use this one. Yeah, so Grafana is deployed. We can wait for the pod to be ready. It's running state, but the container is not ready. We can wait. Yeah, so now we can we can see all the content. All the pods are ready. Like the Loki components are ready, and your Trumptel is also ready, and the Grafana also ready. Okay, so we can check the service status so that we can access the pod. The access the service Grafana. You can see it is exposed using node port. Okay, also the Loki gateway also exposed with the node port, because when we add this in the Grafana, so that time we can use this node port also. Okay, so let me access this Grafana. It will ask for the password. Let me show you this one. So let me access this, that is the 3003 in my case. Yeah, so the default username is admin, and the password you can take from here. One command is there in the secret. When the Grafana is deployed, one secret is created. From there itself you can get the password. Let me hit this one, get secret, and you can copy that one and use here, login. So now this dashboard is coming, and after that you need to add the data source. This Loki as the data source. Go to data source section, add data source. Here the different type of data source you can add, like Prometheus and Loki. So in my case I'm going with logging, so that's why I click on Loki. And here like I expose the Loki gateway. You can see I expose the Loki gateway using node port 3002, so I can use that on here. This my server IP, then 3002 something or 30,000 something, and after that no other changes are required. Directly you can save and test. Okay, so now Loki, I mean the data source successfully connected. You can see one message on the below. Okay, data source is successfully connected. Now we can jump to drill down section. One drill down section is there, and here we are collecting the logs, so that's why I click on the logs. Now you can see a lot of logs from the container, like Loki default containers are coming. So let me go with some of the default deployment, like I mean some of the application deployment. For that, I think one sample application is there, like this counter application. You can see this one counter pod is there, and here you can see some counter message is there. Let me, if you want to change something, yeah, so we can change the counter echo message. Let I mean I put like Loki binary LB, Loki binary or single binary something, single binary hyphen counter, this one. Okay, so I'm going to deploy on the same namespace k hyphen n Loki apply hyphen f counter. The pod should be created. Let me wait a couple of seconds. Yeah, the counter pod also ready. All, I mean, this is the application pod. Okay, and this is all of the infrastructure component of your Loki. So let me access the logs. You can see in the counter application, I defined one environment, two levels, because it is indexing based on your levels. So that's why I have one level is there, like env equal to dev something. Okay, so I can filter out this log from there. So let me filter out those logs. You can see one in the level section, it automatically show like one level that is up, another is env, and similarly other things are there. Let me select this one and the value equal dev and click on show logs. Okay, and if you want to filter out like last 5 minutes log, you can refresh this one. Okay, so now you can see just now some we added some message like SB count or something, like single binary counter 14. You can see the 14 is the latest message, and if you refresh this one, most probably you can get the 16. Okay, so earlier we were getting 14. Every 5 seconds the logs are generated and it is picked up by the Promptel and forwarding to your MINIO storage, and from there it is picking the uh, message. Okay, you can see now it is counter 20 is generated because Promptel is forwarding this log. Okay, I mean collecting this log. And one more thing is that as the log are storing in the object storage, that is the Loki. So if you go to this bucket, you can see the bucket have like 56 number of object. I think some of the previous object are there, but we expect it should be updated right now. Okay, object browser, you can click the Loki bucket, Loki, one index, one index should be created. It will take like 15 minutes since I already deployed I think earlier, so that's why it is already created. If you click on index, okay, so I think it is today 9:40 to something. It will take couple of minutes. Okay, 10-15 minutes it will take. Okay, to reflect those things here. Okay, so you can wait that one. Okay, so it should be reflected and the log already collected there. Okay, so yeah, so this is all about like Loki single binary deployment. Is same like the earlier one, that is the simple scalable, but the resource uses is very less as compared to the previous one. Okay, Yeah, so that's all. Like if you want to uninstall all these things, I think you already know this helm list hyphen a. It will show you all the list, and you can go with this helm uninstall. Yeah, so you can pass your namespace, that is the Loki, and uninstall each of the component you want to uninstall. Like I am going with the uninstalling the frontal, so you can pass this one. Again enter, then the second component like Loki, Grafana, similarly all component you can clean off. Okay. So this is all about your single binary development. Yeah.